so far. Notre Dame hosting Chicago State, and Bonzie Colson here, Coach, one of the big playmakers for the Irish going forward.
Well, you have to put so much attention on Bonzie, and the one thing he can do is he can move away from the rim more and more now, so that makes it easier for Farrell and Temple Gibbs and Pfluger and guys like that that can really make shots. And they are going to be very, very hard to deal with because they know they've been together for so long now. And now you add Harvey into that, who already is playing like he's been there for a while. They're going to be very tough to deal with, not only this month, but as they move into the rest of the non-conference.
I got to say this real quick. Matt Farrell, the two-hand dunk right there. I don't know if you've seen that very often. And he got teed up. I can't believe they gave him a tee for that. One of the best pure point guards in the country.
You'll say Bonzie Colson, Matt Farrell is going to make a difference maker for this Notre Dame team, 3-0 on the year. When you look at the ACC, we know the gold standard, North Carolina and Duke. But where does Miami and this other team in terms of Notre Dame, where do they play out in the conference this year?
Well, I would say to me, and then you got to add North Carolina because Luke May is averaging in the mid-20s right now. Barry's back. Theo Pinson's a senior. Sterling Manley's coming off a double-double game. We could go right on down the list, which is really what happens in the ACC. So when you start to look at what you have with Miami and the experience that they have in the backcourt, when you start to look at what you have now with Notre Dame and the experience that they have all the way across the board, you throw in the national champions inside of that, that makes for an outstanding league. I don't think anybody is conceding the league to anyone right now there. And I think if you're a team, and we haven't even mentioned Syracuse, right? So, like, when you're looking at the teams inside of that league right now that have got some experience, they've got to feel really good about where they're heading.
We toss Louisville in there, too. I mean, we can keep doing this and go down the list. There's too many teams.
You're right. No
that
offense.
Conference is brutal, but as you mentioned, a lot of them are more veteran teams with the exception of Duke. And that's what's going to be interesting to watch, that team mature and develop with all the young talent they have and a guy like Grayson Allen leading like he did the other night in the Champions Classic. If he can do that, not the 37 points, he was talking to guys on every dead ball, every possession. He's in guys' ears. He was the verbal, emotional, and physical leader that they need, not just in the scoring.
Speaking of Duke, you have a team that goes out, beats Michigan State in the Champions Classic. Marvin Bagley didn't play for most of the game. What did we learn about this Blue Devils team?
Well, we learned that they could rebound even without Marvin Bagley Jr. He had 5 offensive rebounds in 10 minutes, and, I mean, they were just dominant on the glass. But what we learned, too, is that Trevon Duvall can do so many things, and his first step is better than any of the rest of our first steps because, including whoever was on the court, he uses his feet so well. But I think the whole key right now is Grayson Allen did something that we always talked about with our players, all right, especially the guys that could make shots, get lost in the game. There were numerous times the other night inside of this game where Grayson a year ago may have very well tried to drive it, create contact, get a foul, where he took the three or he took the pull-up. Great example right here. He still got to the foul line, but he was so efficient moving without the basketball. And Trevon Duvall is his new best friend. There's no question about that on the basketball court.
And you heard him actually say it afterwards, and it's right. I mean, as a former chucker like myself, when you have a point guard out there that's setting the table for you, everything's easier. He got to play off the ball, and he was in his comfort zone. And the other thing I think we learned, though, too, and he showed the clips in the beginning, that 2-3 zone. With that length, they ran on every half-court possession. They got deflections. Michigan State never was settled in it, could not attack it properly, struggled, and they threw a lot of pick-six turnovers, which we showed there, going the other way for dunks and layups. That zone is going to be a massive weapon, and if they can learn to mix in some man-to-man as a young team, they could be a really good defensive
I thought what happened with the zone, and they played it last year some, I thought they moved so much better on the pass, which is the whole key. In basketball, you don't want to move on the catch. You want to move on the pass. And it's a big difference because if you wait to react to when the pass is made, you're late, and that's where the breakdowns come. I thought they played that zone like they really, really were well-schooled in that and spent a lot of time at it. And had not only drilled it, but they had scrimmaged inside of it where they felt comfortable.
You could see them pointing to that next pass and communicating the entire game. It was great.
Yeah, and Grayson Allen's leadership is going to be key down the stretch for Duke. How about in the SEC? North Florida taking on this 8th-ranked Florida Gators team. Igor Kulichov is going to be a big X factor for the Gators down the stretch.
Yeah, grad transfer from Rice, shot 47% from deep last year, averaged 18 points a game. Big addition to this team, but a guy like Keith Stone that just threw down that dunk and gets a little cut in the pass here. This team can play together. They defend. They've got shooters. Mike White's got a lot of talent down in Gainesville.
108 points the Gators are able to put up. Illinois State taking on South Carolina. Puerto Rico tip-off tournament. South Carolina just bringing back just a small portion of their offense from a year ago, and Illinois State took advantage here, Coach.
Well, but what Frank Martin has got to be in that film room talking about right now is the lack of energy and intensity they had defensively, because they do have some veterans like Chris Silva, who is such a mainstay defensively, but they were a step behind defensively and in transition defense the whole day, and they never recovered from it.
How about Illinois State with the win over South Carolina Final Four team a year ago? Auburn, Indiana State, the Charleston Classic. Horace Spencer turning defense into offense with the Bryce Brown jumper.
Yeah, Bruce Pearl had his guys ready to go. You said that, you know, South Carolina was not. Well, 11:30 tip-off Eastern time, and Bruce Pearl's crew was ready to go from the jump, jumped all over the Sycamores, just ran them out of the gym. Great effort all around. Indiana State, 21 turnovers. You cannot win against a good team like that.
83-64 the final in favor of Auburn. When we talk about the SEC, one name comes to mind, and that's the Kentucky Wildcats. This is a young team starting 5 freshmen for the first time since the 14 national championship game. Wildcats are young. How do they break through, especially against a tough loss versus Kansas?
It's going to be tough. They are young. Now, I will say this. I'll commend their effort the other night. They played the defense way better than they did the first 2 games against Utah Valley or against Vermont. But in the end, though, it wasn't quite enough. They couldn't quite make enough plays, but they played with energy, urgency. They communicated better in the first half. The second half was different. They gave a lot more uncontested shots up to Kansas, and Kansas actually did not play well in this game as much as I thought they would with a veteran crew. I thought Devontae Graham at times tried to do too much, and enough. They did enough in the end to get the W, made some free throws down the stretch, but Kentucky's got not hang their head, because they definitely gave it everything, and they showed out for a young team that they can improve and be good down the stretch.
Well, and you mentioned it earlier. That's the whole key. They played with that energy. They played with a level of toughness. The hardest thing for young players to understand is how hard they have to play every day. What that consistency of energy has got to be like, what that motor has got to be like every day. And you have to be able to overcome fatigue and not make mistakes inside of it, because when you play a team like Kansas, or when you play teams that they play in the SEC, they'll just take advantage of it. But John is really, really good at not taking his foot off the gas, of holding them to a high standard of what will take for them to be able to practice at a high level so they can play at a high level.
This conference a year ago had 5 teams represented the NCAA tournament. I think we all agree this SEC conference is certainly deeper than it was a year ago. Providence and Washington coming up. Second semifinal of the 2K Classic. We'll be back from the College Basketball Live scoreboard with much more action from around the top 25 here on ESPN2.
College Basketball Live scoreboard is brought to you by Call of Duty World War II. Reassemble your squad today. Rated M for mature.
What is love? Love is what inspires me. Love is being awakened by a kiss. Love is finding calm in your partner's arms. Love is intimate. Love is everlasting. Love is a diamond. If there's one thing I know, it's couples in love. From the runway to the wedding aisle to the most romantic day of their lives, I'm there. Each piece of my jewelry collection is designed with lovers in mind. The Vera Wang Love Collection at Zales, the diamond store.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Wendy's new chicken tenders are perfectly crispy and tender. And with a new side of Sauce'em sauce, they're even better. So now the question is, to dip or not to dip? For a limited time, try the new chicken tenders with fries and a drink for just $5. Only at Wendy's.
The past was but a precursor. Consider it speculation, or merely just a warm-up. Now it's time. Time to huddle up, to move the chains, to show your colors. It's time to bewilder, amaze, dominate the highlight reel. You've sweat, you've prepped, you've put in the work. It's time to play. Watch on Pac-12 Networks.
He once saved 2 birds with 1 stone, and he once drove 8 hours in a sidecar just to get to a game. He is Rob Riggle, the most interesting fan of college football.
That me?
Stay thirsty, mis amigos.
Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go? Do you wanna go?
Let out your inner child at the Lexus December to Remember sales event. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Still to come, semifinal number 2 of the 2K Classic from MSG. Kyron Cartwright and Providence, after a tough loss at home against Minnesota, turn their sights to Washington. Tip coming up less than 15 minutes from now. How about Coppin State going up against Cincinnati? Gary Clark with the corner three. This Bearcats team going to be dangerous in the American.
What they've done is they've improved in so many areas, and Mick has always had a team that could defend and rebound. Last year they started scoring the ball better, and now when you increase the shooting, like we just saw there, and the ability to knock down threes consistently, that just changes everything for their team. If Kane Broome can come in and really bring a level of maturity that they need at the point guard position, that's going to be a big jump for them.
Cincinnati's offense rolling 97 points now, 3-0 on the season. Texas Southern and Ohio State. Where do the Buckeyes, DC, fall in this Big Ten Conference this year?
They're a big question mark. Chris Holtman, first time here. We'll see what he can do. You know, Keita Bates-Diop, one of the most underrated players in the Big Ten. I mean, Coach, you know these players well from last year. What's the ceiling for the Buckeyes?
Oh, I think Chris is an excellent coach that's going to get a lot out of them. They don't have great depth, but what they've done is they've found some great pieces. Andrew Dockage is an excellent leader. And Musa Jallow from Bloomington North High School left a year early. He had 13 and a start tonight. But I love Keita Bates-Diop, and I love Jayshawn Tate. And Micah Potter is a guy that has got good experience.
Yep, and Michigan with a 61-47 win. They're now 3-0 on the season. How about the Jim Maui Invitational that gets underway on Monday with these four matchups? The field features a pair of nationally ranked teams in Wichita State and Notre Dame. Coach, you've been a part of this tournament. What are the struggles like?
Well, it's a real test not only of your fatigue level and your ability to play under pressure, what's your maturity like? Because every kid has grown up watching that tournament, and you get inside of there and you see all the NBA general managers and the teams, and it's a confined area, and it is really, really easy to get out of character as an individual player. And you start thinking, and we went through this a couple years ago there at Indiana. All right, I love my team, but we went in there and we started to think about what I, as an individual, was going to prove rather than what we were going to do as a team. And it can really catch you. I mean, that's why the maturity, and I think you've got some mature teams that are going to this tournament. You wouldn't think that would happen to a Notre Dame. You wouldn't think that would happen to a Michigan or a Wichita State. It means nothing. You've got to really stay together, and it's a test of wills over 3 days.
And speaking of Wichita State, this is a team that you like potentially going to the Final Four. We talk about Kansas being the best team coming out of that state. Wichita State is right up there.
Yeah, that would be a pretty interesting interstate battle right there. But we look at the Shockers and Greg Marshall's team, basically from start to finish, they know what they're about, Coach. They know what they're going to defend. They're going to rebound. They got all these guys coming back. Landry Shamet's one of the best point guards in the country. Connor Frankamp can shoot it. One question, though, Marcus McDuffie. You know, as he's got to get healthy, when he gets healthy in December, if he can be 100% come the second half of the season, they are no doubt a Final Four team.
Well, I think that he brings another dimension, but the one thing, and you mentioned it earlier, they know who they are, and they do not take a possession off defensively or on the glass. And because you can get lost on that bench with Greg there if you don't do that. And he's got enough depth to be able to carry that out.
All right, let's get to some more action in the ACC. NC State going up against Presbyterian. Of all the teams we've talked about, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, what about this NC State team? What's on the horizon for them?
Well, Kevin Keats has got to get his system established, and there's some players back, but obviously when you lose guys like Dennis Smith Jr., it's going to take some time. But he's an excellent coach who plays a very fast style. He's come from, he's built his way up through Hargrave Military Academy, through Louisville, had his success as a head coach, and I think he'll get it across that they're going to play fast and tough.
Wolfpack 4-0. Clemson and Ohio from Charleston. And Clemson, a team that's had so many close losses a year ago. Can they turn the page this year?
Yeah, double-digit losses in games, but 6 points or less last year. Brad Brown now comes back. Can he get this team to play at a certain level? Well, they did, and it was an easy game. Ohio gave them everything they could handle, but they were able to answer down the stretch, make plays. Elijah Thomas was very solid, and Dante Grantham was great inside. Both those teams, both those guys.
Clemson holds on for the victory. Temple, meanwhile, their season opener, Shiz Alston Jr., 23 points, 5 threes, as Temple comes away victorious, 76-65. Much more to come on the other side of the break.
This is the inaugural PK80, an exciting new tournament featuring 16 top-tier teams. The PK80 tips Thursday, November 23rd.
And that's how a pelican took my wallet. Oh, no, I've got this. I'll use MasterPass.
The simple, secure way to pay, no matter where your wallet may be.
Oh, I didn't even tell you about the monkey.
Bringing home an amazing story, priceless. Don't just buy it.
Shave butter by Dollar Shave Club. It's going to change your life. Well, the shave part of your life. Try shave butter and a razor.
Reminder coming up on Midnight Edition of SportsCenter. Titans and the Steelers are both serious Super Bowl contenders this year. How about the battle of win streaks? The Warriors and the Celtics, who have won 13 in a row after that 0-2 start. Giancarlo Stanton named the NL MVP. Jose Altuve for the Astros. What the wait for the MVP feels like for both those individuals. SportsCenter coming up tonight, midnight Eastern on ESPN. Meanwhile, UCLA in the storylines over the last couple of weeks in college basketball. Last night hosting Central Arkansas. Jalen Hands with the free throw to tie it in overtime. And, Coach, that's where the Bruins took off.
Well, they really did. They've got a fairly young team, but they've got a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. And Chris Wilkes is making threes, and he made them against Georgia Tech, and that helps their team a bunch. So I think, like we've talked about all night long, I mean, when you have a game like that, that's what a distraction looks like. That's how it affects you. And for them to play through that, and that becomes a relief win. But at the same time, that's something that the players there, as young as they are, can go back and say they were able to overcome some things. And I think they're going to have to do that for a while.
Yeah, those three freshmen, LiAngelo Ball, Cody Riley, Jalen Hill, all suspended indefinitely, caught shoplifting in China where they were held, all spoke yesterday, showed remorse, thanking even President Donald Trump in the matter as well. What was your biggest takeaway from seeing how UCLA handled this entire situation?
I think they handled it properly. I think they left it open-ended. It's going to be a university review now. They've suspended the players indefinitely, so let's dive into what that means as a university. They're going to try to figure that out going forward. Coach, you said it earlier, you can't judge intent, but are they remorseful? That's kind of the same thing I want to know. The players gave great responses all yesterday, 3 scripted responses that said everything they should say and said it the right way. Now the question is, over the course of months and weeks ahead, are they actually remorseful? Did they learn from this? Should they represent their team on the floor? Should they represent UCLA as students going forward is a bigger question, because with this university review, they technically could be expelled. We'll find out as it goes through what the ramifications are for what they did in China.
Well, the bottom line is that all 3 of them have got to make sure that no matter what, they learn a great deal from this. And that's stating the obvious, but it's a lot easier said than done. They've got to have a process. And you hope that the families and the school all get together and say, okay, we're going to find out how remorseful they are. And there's a level of punishment that has to go into something like this that you have to be a part of, that everybody else inside of the team has to see. But really, it's the personal and the self-discipline that comes from this that hopefully will manifest itself and allow these guys to really grow up.
What does this mean then for the program moving forward, the product on the court?
It's not a huge impact right now. When you look at these 3 players, none of them are going to have a big impact on this. LiAngelo Ball, everybody knows his name because of Lonzo, but he's not the talent that Lonzo is. Cody Riley could have seen some time and affected things. I think the thing that will affect them most is probably practice. And once you actually get all the stuff, the clutter, if you will, and the distraction, as you mentioned, if that can go away, but if they're not able to practice, that's going to impact the actual product on the floor.
Absolutely. Plus, at the same time, I mean, they're going to be around. You know, whether they're doing workouts somewhere else, whatever they have, it's not like they've moved away. And so I think it's going to be a real, we're going to have to grow up real fast type of situation. And those 3 young guys are going to have to learn a lot from this, and they don't have very much time to learn it.
All right, so coming up next, we got Providence and Washington, semifinal number 2 of the 2K Classic. Quick thought from both of you on how this matchup plays out.
Well, to me, Noah Dickerson, if he can get loose inside against Providence and do anything like he's done in these first couple of games, it's going to be good for them. I think Washington is going to have to play the zone like a veteran team, which they're not, but they have a coach that really understands that zone as well as anybody in Mike Hopkins. They're going to have to get on the offensive glass. Transition D is the biggest thing, though.
I'm interested to see how Providence bounces back. They lost at home to Minnesota during that stretch in the second half. 12 straight possessions, they gave up points. How does Ed Cooley's team bounce back physically and mentally? Can they rebound the basketball? Can they make enough shots? And Kyron Cartwright, can he run the show and do what he normally does?
All right, so Washington looking to go 3-0 after losing their last 13 a year ago. Countdown to tip-off coming up. We'll see you back at the half here on College Basketball Live.
right, off you go.
Casual Fridays at Buckingham Palace? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much money Nathan saved by switching to Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. Wendy's new chicken tenders are perfectly crispy and tender. And with a new side of Sawsome sauce, they're even better. So now the question is, to dip or not to dip? For a limited time, try the new chicken tenders with fries and a drink for just $5. Only at Wendy's.
Heineken has been family-owned since 1873. They know about tradition. My favorite tradition? You shouldn't have. Exchanging gifts. I actually bought these myself. There's more behind the star.
Rated mature.
PlayStation. I love you so much. We're gonna be best friends forever.
Let out your inner child at the Lexus December to Remember sales event. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Let's get the new Red Robin Taco Tavern Double with guacamole, tortilla strips, and zesty salsa. One of 3 burgers, only $6.99 each. Anytime, with bottomless steak fries, of course. Let's burger.
Red Robin. Yum.
More hoops from Gotham. Semifinal number 2 coming up from Madison Square Garden. And welcome back to the 2K Sports Classic as part of Feast Week presented by Lowe's. And here from the world's most famous arena, Providence and Washington. The winner will meet St. Louis in a championship game tomorrow night. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. John Shambi alongside Sean Farnham. St. Louis with a win in the opener as they were able to get past Virginia Tech. And now in game 2, you get Providence and Washington, the Big East against the Pac-12. So what do you expect style-wise?
Well, first you got to realize that Coach Hopkins in his first season at UW, he's longtime assistant at Syracuse. So what are you going to see? The 2-3 zone, and they've got a lot of length up top, so it's going to be important that Providence tries to get the ball down low and utilize some of their size. Meanwhile, if you're Washington, I think offensively, one of the areas I've seen on the film that Providence has struggled at, Boog, is covering the baseline. So on those drives, they're slow in their help side rotations, and teams, in particular Minnesota last time out, was able to find some success against the Friars.
Providence lineups, and it'll be Bullock, Diallo, Young, Cartwright, and Jackson getting to start. And meanwhile, for Mike Hopkins in his first year, Chris, Thibault, Noel, Dickerson, and Timmons starting as the Huskies will see that 2-3 zone. Of course, Mike Hopkins coached and played it under Jim Boeheim out at Syracuse.
And Noah Dickerson, number 15 for Washington, the only player in college basketball this year so far to have 20-plus points and 20-plus rebounds in a single game. He did it last time out. He had 28 and 22.
It was against Eastern Washington. 22 boards, the most rebounds in a game so far this year. As Washington controls it, we are underway here. Semifinal number 2 at MSG as they try and feed Dickerson. And it goes out of bounds. It'll be Providence basketball.
It wasn't a great entry pass that time by Timmons. But you can see a point of emphasis for Washington. The first game out, they didn't get the ball to Dickerson all that much. And it was Noel that had the big game.
Diallo from the elbow, a little strong. And rebound number 1 for Dickerson. Chris Boyce. And Timmons fighting for it. Out of bounds, Providence basketball. Kyron Cartwright handling. Seems like year in and year out, the Friars always with a really good point guard.
Well, Cartwright had the great opportunity to learn underneath Chris Dunn, who was one of the best players in all of college basketball his senior year.
Bullock a three wouldn't go. Diallo the rebound. Puts it up and in. And the first points of the game belong to New York City's own Alpha Diallo.
Carved out space on the weak side from that shot. Able to corral it and finish the strength. It's a poor pass.
Cartwright feed up ahead. Jackson's shot was blocked. And now the freshman Noel. And Dickerson traveled. We showed you Mike Hopkins, Ed Cooley in his 7th year, of course, the head coach at Fairfield prior. 5 years there. They've been in the NCAA tournament 4 straight times. That's the first time in school history that the Friars have ever accomplished that.
It's an amazing job. Villanova and Xavier, the only other 2 teams in the Big East that have gone to the last 4 NCAA tournaments. And Ed Cooley, you think he's happy where he's at? What did he tell us earlier?
Bullock up and in.
So you could bury him at Providence and he's happy. I mean, he really loves the support he's got received from administration. Yeah. He loves his staff, and a big part of their success has been the consistency within his coaching staff.
And Noel walked. So for Washington to begin the game, 5 possessions and 4 turnovers.
That's not good. This is good execution against the zone. Little baseline dribble penetration. Drop that pass off through a small window. Easy finish in the paint. You've got to be able to attack the zone inside. You cannot just play up over the top. Pass fake, shot fakes. Get the zone shifting ever so slightly.
Bullock inside, and he gets bumped. So Bullock draws the foul as they get Noel with that one.
You see the pass fake, though, elevated thigh bone, and that's what vacated that high post area for Bullock to get the ball right at the free throw line. And I think for the Friars to be the team that I think they can be, and that's an NCAA tournament team again, plus 20 wins in the regular season, with a chance to advance. The guy at the free throw line has to start playing better. Averaging 8.5 points per contest, but I think he needs to be a 14, 15 point per game scorer for the Friars to take it to that next level. And he has it in him.
He's like the third man along with Bentel and Dunn.
I saw this team a couple of years ago when he was that third man, and I saw what he was able to bring to the court. And I thought, just gosh, his transition to going to be the it guy is going to be smooth.
Dominic Green checking into the game and buries a 3. First points of the night for the Huskies. And a turnover. This is David Crisp handling. Jalen Noel turns it over. Cartwright up ahead. Nice feed. Jackson couldn't finish the dunk. And now Crisp. Kick back. Noel a 3. Tipped out of bounds, and it's off Khalif Young. It'll stay with Washington.
Unfortunately for Mr. Jackson, we're going to show it to you one more time. Yep. Got to get it above the rim to give it a chance.
More quality analysis from Sean Farnham coming up in the second half. The physics of the dunk. Got to get it above the rim.
Now, the good news is it doesn't matter because Washington's just going to turn it over and give it right back to you. They got 6 turnovers, and we're less than 4 minutes into the game.
Holy cow.
I mean, you got to value the basketball. At some point in time, slow down. It's a big stage. It's bright lights. It's New York City. Calm down. and just play the game.
You calmed down. I mean, I know
I'm over it. Where are we going next?
You were a little overwhelmed in the first half of game one, and I feel like you really settled down. Feet inside, and a bucket there for Rodney Bullock.
I thought you knew me. There is no settle down with me.
Yeah. Ever.
You think about this building, though. How many times Billy Joel's played in here?
I know it.
Ali Frazier, the fight of the century in 1971.
Dickerson seals off and puts it in. Great post position and a nice feed from Chris.
Mark it down, the possession in which Washington didn't turn the ball over, and they got 2 points.
You're just going to keep setting me up. Jackson, and that one is blocked, and they get an offensive foul on Isaiah Jackson. Time out of the court, and Providence, the early 3-point lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by NBA 2K18. In stores now. Rated everyone 10 and up. And Continental Tire. For what you do.
Oh please, oh me, oh my. We've been moving for some time. All right. Flexing, try to exercise. But it's life I cannot change. It is, deep off in the pain. Dipping in, sweet like candy cane. Jumping top.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
Continental tires are built for the road that connects you to all of life's journeys. And for nearly 150 years, we've been developing tires to fit your needs. Each Continental tire is designed to give you precise handling and traction in all seasons, and a quiet, comfortable ride wherever the road takes you. You're at your best when you're doing what you really love. We're at ours when we're helping you get there. Continental Tire, for what you do.
Now, baby, stack that beef. Lay that Swiss. Whoa. Wrap it up. Oh, a basket instead. Okay. Reuben is back for a limited time at Subway. So much Reuben.
New Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. Balanced, nutritious, and delicious. With 22 grams of protein, savory vegetables, quinoa and cashews. Together in perfect harmony. New Stouffer's Fit Kitchen Bowls. This is fit.
Well, after a long wait, Mike Hopkins gets his chance to be a head coach. Former guard at Syracuse, 89 to 93. 22 years as a Syracuse assistant. Did serve as an interim coach for 9 games, but their new head coach, and he is intense. First week on the job, and in practices with the kids, he broke his nose and kept practicing, and then the other part was that eventually they had to fix it and set it, and he had literally just shown up, and he's taking pictures with black eyes.
Yep.
But I mean, that is him.
It is 100% him. And last night, they had a great practice. And the one thing that is also him is that passion that you're alluding to.
Yeah.
It spilled over to this team. Look, Washington over the last couple of years has not been noted for their defensive effort. And already you've seen a more galvanized team at that end of the floor. And the 2-3 zone works with the personnel that was left behind by Lorenzo Romar. And Coach Hopkins is really getting the most out of this team right now. They believe in this system. They believe in their defense. They believe it's going to work. And it's still a work in progress. They're still getting all the principles down, but it's been pretty effective so far this season.
Cartwright launches and hits. Byron Cartwright, big-time assist guy, but Providence known for their point guards that both score and pass.
He can shoot the ball from the outside, too.
Inside, Dickerson gets bumped by Watson.
So they're going to get Lindsay on that one.
Beg your pardon, yeah, Jalen Lindsay. And here he is, Noah Dickerson, coming off that game 28 and 22.
He had to get re-recruited. He took a trip to LSU, was scheduled to take a trip to Florida as well after Lorenzo Romar was relieved of duties.
Which is where he was headed initially. That's where he committed, and then Billy Donovan hamstrayed to go to Oklahoma City. And so he got out of there, came to Washington. But Mike Hopkins glad that he's got this guy back in the fold.
He was actually in Las Vegas talking with his assistant coach, Dave Rice, when he got the call, and said that was the best news he had heard all day.
Bullet in close, and it wouldn't go. And that one will go down for Thibault.
Thibault, an elite level defensive player right now for Washington. He gets 12 deflections last time out, averages over 3.5 steals. He's designed for this defense. As his offensive game continues to improve, in particular from beyond the arc, he can be an all-conference caliber player. He's shooting just 17% from 3.
You know, when you're a new coach, you're not going to get all of the guys you want in right away. But, you know, from a lineup standpoint, Mike Hopkins has the type of team that you like for a 2-3 zone. There are a lot of long guys, and that's usually a pretty crucial part in terms of the physicality of a 2-3 zone, to have guys with a long wingspan.
When they first worked on this defense, Thibault was down low. And they kind of inverted it, moved him up top because of his length and because of how he is what you'd see, that big guard that we're so accustomed to seeing at Syracuse. He can provide that kind of athleticism at the top of the zone. Now, I mentioned he's struggled a little bit from 3 so far this season. He was their most accurate three-point shooter last season, making 41% of his threes. But in this system, in this defense, he's got great upside. Watching practice last night, the one thing about Thibault, and I told him this after practice, I said, you know, what I really was drawn to was your eyes. The way he was watching the ball, it was like laser sharp focus where the ball was. He was in the right position. His hands never drop below his hips. They are always out wide defensively.
Matisse Thibault. He's got a fan on the other side, and Ed Cooley. He was raving about Thibault to us. Feed inside, and flipping it up and in is Nate Watson. And Ed Cooley thinks that this kid could end up being a really good player.
This is a unique roster for Ed Cooley because of the depth and talent that he has. He's been playing up to 10 guys. Now, I think that's got to get whittled down a little bit. But this freshman class and this group that he has, they're the building blocks for the future, and they just signed an outstanding recruiting class already. So Ed Cooley's got Providence rolling, more so than that suit. And, Coach, you're looking good. 3-piece. It's a good look. The qualities that you need to have to play for Ed Cooley. You got to be tough physically and mentally. And as he said, I've got to hear you say please and thank you.
Yeah, he doesn't want his guys taking stuff for granted. He wants them to be grateful and appreciative for the opportunities that they're afforded. Thibault down. Matisse steps back. That's long. Fight for the loose ball, and eventually Diallo comes away with it. And he's fouled. He'll go to the line. Alpha Diallo. Good defender.
When you talk about where do you beat the zone, how do you beat the zone? Well, one way to beat the zone is pushing the ball up in transition and not allowing that zone to set up, and that's what the Friars did right there with Diallo.
You want to read the promo?
No, you got this.
Okay. Diallo gets the first, fresh off their thrashing of Notre Dame, undefeated, and #3 Miami. They're at home. They'll take on Virginia at noon Eastern on ABC, also streaming live on the ESPN app. The Canes and the Cavaliers.
I'm a fan of the turnover chain. You like the turnover chain?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting close to jumping the shark, but yes.
I like it.
And a travel, another turnover. That's 8 on Washington as Noel turns it over.
Yeah, if the turnover chain was part of Ed Cooley's system, maybe the chain would be turning over a lot of guys real quickly here. Good job. Force the turnover. Here you go.
Kai Ashton Langford into the game. He has the ball. Great activity there to step in. Thibault takes it away. Picks it up ahead. Getting fouled is Carter.
And this is where Thibault is excelling right now. Watch him reading the ball, seeing it, perfect timing, utilizing his length at the top of that zone, tracking it all the way, and then creating an opportunity for his teammate out in transition.
Michael Carter III. It's an interesting case. You know, you're looking to fill out your roster, and a guy who's from the Seattle area, was originally signed with San Francisco. Late developer. He was 5'9" as a sophomore in high school, and now 6'4". But Mike Hopkins thought this kid could be a useful player for us.
But the thing about Seattle-based players is they take a great deal of pride in the Pacific Northwest. And when Lorenzo Romar had Washington rolling, and he did for a long time, he really built a fort around the city of Seattle. And he convinced the best players in Seattle to stay in Seattle. And I think if that's what the point of emphasis is going to be for Washington, there's a lot of talent up there. They're going to get really good really quick.
There's a lot of talent, no question. Diallo wanders into the paint, needs some help, and now a takeaway from Noel. Kicks it up ahead, crisp. Now the lob. Thibault throws it down.
One of the things Washington does extremely well is on turnovers off their zone, they are looking to run and score. They're not slowing down the game, looking to play in the half court.
Diallo on the baseline gets fouled, and he'll go to the line.
What I've been impressed with so far, Providence's ability to space the floor, try to find seams and gaps to get it in, but defense leading the offense. The last couple possessions for Washington as they're fighting their way back into the game, get a steal, throw it ahead, know the athleticism, and finish. 2-point game.
I saw the change in Rich when we moved into the new house, but having his parents over was enlightening.
You don't like my lasagna?
No, it's good.
Here, blow. Blow on it.
You see it, right?
Is there a draft in here? I'm telling you, it's so easy to get home insurance on Progressive.com.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto.
Oh, please. Oh, please. Oh, me. Oh, me. Oh, my. Oh, my. We've been moving for some time. All right. Flexing, try to exercise. For this life I cannot change. Hit the hills, keep off in the main. Dipping nails, sweet like candy cane. Drop the top.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
The 2018 Cadillac XT5.
Worship me.
Beauty, greater than the sum of its parts. Come in for our season's best offers and drive out with the perfect 2018 Cadillac XT5. Get a low mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $379 per month.
Back here, Madison Square Garden. 2K Sports Classic. John Shambi and Sean Farnham, semifinal number 2, and had a, you could say, a mild upset of sorts in game 1 as St. Louis got past Virginia Tech, and they await the winner, the Billikens do, of this one for the championship tomorrow night.
Well, you look at this game right now, Washington is shooting 12 percentage points higher from the field than is Providence. The problem is they have more turnovers than shot attempts. 8 turnovers, only 7 shot attempts for the Huskies so far in this game. And because of those turnovers, 9 of the 15 points have come off of them.
Diallo short on his first. Mentioned a New York City kid. Went to Frederick Douglass High School and got some family here watching, cheering on the Friars. Drew Edwards checking in. Diallo will take a seat. Chris picking up his dribble. Three-pointer a little strong. Noel the rebound. Let's see what they get here. Looks like a foul. A foul beyond Nate Watson. One of the things to point out as far as Providence, for as much depth as they have, they are without a guy who's a crucial player, kind of a glue guy for them in Emmett Holt. He's got an issue with his abdomen, and he's a guy that they really miss. They lost their last game at home against Minnesota. Ed Cooley really felt like if they had Emmett Holt, they would have won the game.
Yep.
Dickerson knocks that one down. Ed Cooley also paid a high compliment to the Golden Gophers' Jordan Murphy. He said he is the best player, or at least played the best of anybody that we've coached against while at Providence. Lob attempt, and that one through the hands of Watson and into the hands of Noel. Thibault a three. Out of bounds, and it's Washington basketball.
Pace of this game is good so far in the early stages. Execution, that needs to get tidied up.
Kick out, Noel. And a rebound ripped down by Drew Edwards. Bullock dribbles out. Lindsay could shoot it and buries that one. Jalen Lindsay missed the opener with a sore knee. He was 46% from three last year.
Yeah, won the Most Improved Player award for the team, and it was good to get him back in that last contest just to kind of get his legs under. Not 100%, but certainly much better for it right now.
9 turnovers on the Huskies.
All right, so you beat the zone, you can get scored down low, that's fine, but you get the ball in the middle, then you kick out to shooters that have their feet set and are ready to knock it down. A little bit of a late closeout. That's one way to beat it. So we've seen Providence actually mix it up. They've been able to score inside, and they've been knocking down their perimeter shots so far. 2 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Inside, Young, point blank, and couldn't finish. Thibault from Noel, finger roll will go.
And that's that baseline help. In transition, they threw the ball ahead. Slow, step slow, reacting to the baseline, allowed him to cut back to the middle and then finish.
Bullock inside on the baseline. Dickerson with the rebound. And Noel bumped. They get Drew Edwards on that foul. 2-point game, Providence with the lead.
Watch the transition, drive baseline, slow in the rotation over. Rodney Bullock's got to get out there more pressing and cut off that baseline sooner, so it allows the trailing guard to close the door. By him rotating over slowly and allowing Thibault to get deeper into him, there was no opportunity for the trailing guard to close that door and not allow that shot.
Thibault. That one was too strong, but right there for the putback is Noel.
And Thibault on the way back looked at Crisp and said that was a pass. No one is buying that, and the official score is not giving you an assist.
Edwards at the free throw line. Feed inside, out of bounds. And it'll be Washington basketball, tied at 19. Well, tomorrow night, tip off your weekend. An NBA doubleheader on ESPN. First at 8 Eastern, it's the Thunder and the Spurs. And that's followed by the Pelicans and Nuggets. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown, charged by Mountain Dew, 7 Eastern.
A pair of great games last night on ESPN. LeBron James and the Cavs, a hard-fought victory against the Hornets.
Big thing Dow talking about how many minutes he's playing. He's playing really well. Young rebounding the Edwards miss. And Khalif Young.
That's going to be 2 fouls on Johnson.
So Carlos Johnson picks up his second. And Young to the line. Khalif, a sophomore from Vaughan, Ontario, Canada.
He actually does a really good job of running rim to rim, especially for his size.
Yeah.
And he, people said that coming into the season, he's a little bit under the radar. Well, he's on the radar screen now. There's nothing about him that's under the radar. He is going to be a consistent presence for Ed Cooley.
You're usually going to find 6'9", 255 on the radar. It's hard to hide.
I don't know how radars work. But it just sounds fun when they say he's under the radar.
Right.
Is he over the radar if we overhype him?
Could be. Timmons had it stripped away. Malik White, feet inside, and able to put it in is Khalif Young.
They never took the ball out of bounds. Chris sat for a second, was waiting for somebody to come back.
And then just started
dribbling. And then was like, you know what, I'm just going to dribble it up the floor.
Sure.
It doesn't work that way, so the official had to stop the play. But if you're under the radar, you're not under the radar, you're over the radar, I'm not quite sure. But all I do know is Young is good, and Providence is out in front.
Dress code, huh? My dress is my code. It's my reminder to excel. It's my culture. My code. What's your code? Chris Paul by 5'4".
Monica, it is absolute chaos out here. Gale force winds, accumulations up to 8 inches. Don't know if you can even hear me.
What's he doing?
Can we get a shot of this cold front right here? Winter has arrived. Woo!
Progress is an unstoppable force. Brace yourself for the Season of Audi sales event. Audi will cover your first month's lease payment on select models during the Season of Audi sales event.
Dress code, huh? My dress is my code. It's my reminder to excel. It's my culture. My code. What's your code? Chris Paul by 5'4".
Click the on-demand button for the hottest new releases on Fios without ever leaving the couch. Here's what's new.
Our planet was a true paradise. We lived in harmony with the elements until the day of the apocalypse.
Agents Valerian and Laureline, you have less than 10 hours to find the threat and eliminate it.
Click the on-demand button on your remote and get the latest new release.
And that's how a Pelican took my wallet. Oh no, I've got this. I'll use MasterPass.
The simple, secure way to pay, no matter where your wallet may be.
Oh, I didn't even tell you about the monkey.
Bringing home an amazing story, priceless. Don't just buy it.
John Brickley in the studio. Update on Xavier, Wisconsin. Kaiser Gates with the 3. Coach, this is a good early test for both these programs.
Oh, it's a great test, and that's a big shot from Gates. I think going down the line, How they defend Ethan Happ in that post is going to be the key to the game.
All right, back to you guys at MSG.
All right, fellas, look forward to hearing from you at the half. St. Louis, a winner in our first semifinal. Yeah, they await the winner of this one, our championship game tomorrow night. Providence and Washington. This underneath Madison Square Garden, Penn Station. In game one, it was Javon Best, the Michigan State transfer, career high 22 points, career high 9 rebounds.
Do you know how hard you have to work to get to the line 15 times in a college basketball game? That's not easy.
Noel gives off.
That's 11 turnovers now for Washington. They came into the game averaging 12.5 turnovers through the first 2 games of the season. They have 11, and there's 7 minutes left to go here in the first half. And a lot of them are unforced. I mean, it's illegal screens, it's error passes.
Out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Friars. Dickerson checks back in. Timmons will sit. Mike Hopkins works those subs in and out.
The concerns that Ed Cooley had, and he talked about them today, you know, they're talking about playing against a zone and a team that's going to play zone from the very start to the very end of the game. You know, shoot around, you're not working on your man-to-man stuff because you know they're not going to it. So you've got to be really crisp in your execution. And so far, they've shared the ball extremely well. 6 assists on 7 made field goals for Providence.
Jackson gets inside, flips that one, and rebound pulled down by Carter. Thibault handling. Crossover there. Steps back, fires, can't hit. Noel steals the pass back the other way. Dickerson up and under off the glass and good.
He is so strong. Because that was good defense. He didn't have a lot of separation, and he's not the type of athlete that's going to finish up over the top of you in those kind of scenarios.
Jackson gets fouled on the floor. Isaiah Jackson, the George Mason transfer.
What makes Noah Dickerson so hard to guard? He just carves out space. Look at him, low to his shoulders, a little up and under, kept his pivot foot down and finished strong.
Two big guys. Dickerson 6'8", 245, working on Young 6'9", 255.
You know, so often now, young bigs, they want to dunk everything for the show, right? So what they're losing though is their footwork, their balance, and learning to play with angles. And that's what Noah Dickerson does. He creates angles where he can score.
Thibault to kick out. Providence takes it the other way, and it's Cartwright. Kyron Cartwright. Feed inside. Diallo lost the handle. Huskies the other way. Noel off the glass and good, and we're tied. Jalen Noel, part of that big recruiting class, and he decided to stay.
The only one that did commit and stay and reaffirm his commitment. And when he did, he said, I believe in my city. and he wanted to rep his city, and he's doing that very well. In fact, he beat Markelle Fultz's debut with 32 points in their first game against Belmont. And look at the two teams Washington play. They played Belmont. They go home and they beat Vanderbilt. They play Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington then goes to Stanford and wins.
First lead of the game for the Huskies. Of course, Michael Porter Jr. was part of that initial class. Ended up at Missouri.
He ends up staying in Columbia, Missouri tonight as his team is out playing in Salt Lake City against Utah.
Yeah, didn't make the trip.
Michael Porter Jr. has played 2 minutes through 2 games with an undisclosed injury that has been listed as day-to-day, but day-to-day enough that he didn't even take the flight.
Loose ball. And eventually Friars come up with it. Diallo, the two-handed throwdown. Now the New York kid with the dunk at the Garden. It's got to be cool for him. Friars a 3-point lead. Thibault lost the handle. Loose ball again. And a foul on Washington. And let's see who they got that on. It'll be on Dickerson.
And that's his second personal foul.
And he is waving to Mike Hopkins. No, no, don't take me out.
And he's going to lose that battle. Tyron Cartwright going to the free throw line. Second team All Big East last season.
Yeah, he was 4th in the nation in assists. Led the league at 6.7.
And you mentioned the consistency of point guard play. Here's numbers that you can use if you're Ed Cooley and you're recruiting guards. Do you realize 4 Friars in the last 6 seasons have led the Big East in assists? You thank Chris Dunn for a couple of those.
Thibault behind the back. Well not able to hit. Here come the Friars with a 3-point advantage. Bullock rattles it in. A 3 for Rodney Bullock, and the Friars on a 7-0 run. And it traveled. 13 turnovers of the Huskies in the first half.
And the Huskies are playing too fast. They're out of control. The Friars, they're in complete control, and they're feeling good about it. Up 6.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter.
These seats aren't just for watching the game. They're for participating in it. Like the exit row on an airplane, sitting here carries great responsibility. Here, my 6 men and women, every action is a distraction. So when the other team goes to the line, make some noise. Annoy, like your season depends on it. Because it just might.
Proper etiquette is essential for every social occasion.
So the broom said, sorry I'm late, I overswept.
Yes, even the awkward among us deserve some laughter. And while it's okay to nibble in public, a lady only dines in private.
Try the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. It gives you options based on your budget.
Uh-oh. Discussing finances is a big no-no.
What? I'm helping her save money.
Shh. Men are talking.
That's it. I'm out. Taking the meatballs.
the all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is the inaugural PK80, an exciting new tournament featuring 16 top-tier teams. The PK80 tips Thursday, November 23rd at 2:30 on ESPN.
John Brickley, Dallin Cuff, Tom Crean in the studio. Coming up on the Land Rover halftime report, impressive wins by teams among the top 15. Xavier in Wisconsin going down to the wire. Meanwhile, Providence and Washington, biggest takeaway for you guys?
Coach, I know we were talking about 13 turnovers. That's a big issue. But right now, they were controlling the tempo in this game. They keep turning the ball over. You're not going to be able to give yourself a chance in the second half.
Absolutely. They're trying to do too much off the dribble rather than get the ball movement that they were getting early, and Providence is taking advantage of it.
All right, we'll see you guys at the half. Back to MSG. Boog and Sean.
All right, fellas, and we've already touched on this tonight. The PK80 presented by State Farm. Here's the victory bracket.
This is the side I'm on. I got UConn, Oregon, Michigan State, DePaul, Thanksgiving night. You look at Arkansas and Oklahoma. Trae Young, one of the best freshman guards in all of college basketball. Huge for Lon Kruger, if you haven't seen him. And then you look at this side of the bracket. Florida is as good as advertised. They are a Final Four quality team. Gonzaga obviously went to the Final Four last year. Duke, we've already seen what they could do as they knocked off Michigan State at the Champions Classic. It is going to be a fantastic tournament over 4 days in Portland, Oregon.
I'm kind of jealous now.
You should have called me
out there.
You should have called me.
Cartwright buries a three.
I would have fought for you, partner.
Largest lead for Providence as they are up by 9. Under 3 to go here first half. John Shelby, Sean Farnham, the 2K Sports Classic. So Madison Square Garden, the winner will take on St. Louis in a championship tomorrow night. Thibault's pass is stolen, another turnover. That's 14.
Thibault's pass was an outlet pass for Providence offense.
Good look, Bullock fouled.
I mean, there is just zero awareness by Washington right there in Thibault. I mean, the defense was rotating over. You threw it to an empty spot. You didn't throw it where it was going to your target hand of your post player.
.10-0 run. Make it 11-0 for the Friars.
So what you're going to see, you go ahead and see Bullock at the top of your screen. Watch where he gets to as he cuts behind the back of the defense, and nobody steps over. Nobody rotates over to help. And when they did, it was too late.
Feed inside, they get a kick. That'll reset to 20.
Make the game easy, right? To be successful, the game's got to come a little easy. Right now, things are difficult for Washington at the offensive end. Even that, it ends up still being their ball. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard. They're fighting the system.
Another turnover. That's 15. Great work. Makai Ashton Langford, the freshman.
And you can ask yourself, who could be the next guard that takes over when Cartwright's gone?
Him.
It's him. I mean, before Minnesota game.
And one. Chance at a 4-point play for David Crisp.
Never foul a three-point shooter. And this one was late closeout. Crisp, a little step back. Hit the offhand on the follow-through. Crisp is the life of the party for Washington. At shoot-around, he's dancing, he's moving, he's a high-energy guy.
That's Brewster Academy. He's the leading returning scorer. Started every game last year.
One area he's got to get better is his assist-to-turnover ratio. And right now, it's just 1-for-1, and that's not what you want to see.
Bullock feeds Young. Couldn't convert. Contested. Eventually, Green comes away with it. Crisp up ahead. Inside, Crisp. I think there might have been some interference there. White the hesitation, and he gets fouled.
Let me ask you, Boog. What is the degree of difficulty, though, of Crisp's layup at this end of the floor?
Yeah, I would say, are we going on a 5 scale or a 10 scale?
Let's go on a 10 scale.
I'm going to go like 9.5.
Yeah, I mean, so even when you're in transition, you're trying to make extremely difficult shot out of what should be a very simple shot. And that has been, to me, the entire first half offensively for Washington. And you credit Providence because obviously they've sped them up. They've gotten in their head a little bit. It's a mental thing right now with 15 turnovers, and then you're making things difficult when you even have opportunities to score layups.
Right.
And Providence has taken advantage of it.
Ten-point lead for the Friars. Coming up on a minute to go in the first half. Out of bounds, it'll stay with Washington. And another pass. Thibault either telegraphed, just didn't put enough zip on it.
Deflections, steals, errant passes.
Chris from Green gets a 3. That's his second three-point basket. David Crisp down with 6.
Look at the ball movement. What a great offensive possession. Everything but the shot. But as far as a textbook offensive possession against the zone, they got it in, they kicked it out, they reversed it, got it back inside without a single dribble. They were shifting and rotating the defense beautifully on that possession for Providence.
101 down the other end for Dominic Green. Young will grab a seat. And Drew Edwards checking back in. Jalen Lindsey back in. 37-30. Friars on top. Late first half. And Green can't hit the front end of the 1-and-1.
And then Cooley with a great timeout right here. He wants to set it up. It's a 30-second shot clock, 30.2. You're getting the last look if you're Providence.
He once saved 2 birds with 1 stone, and he once drove 8 hours in a sidecar just to get to a game. He is Rob Riggle, the most interesting fan of college football.
That me? Stay thirsty, mis amigos.
Domino's? 2 large pepperoni pizzas, please.
Only Domino's lets you earn Piece of the Pie rewards points when you order by phone, online, or when you order in store. We make it easy for you to earn free pizza any way you order.
Back here at MSG, turnovers a huge factor. Friars have been able to get Washington to turn it over 15 times, and Providence has turned it in to 13 points.
It's like if you just continue to give someone the opportunity to do something, they're going to find success. And that's what Washington has done. And then once you do give that confidence to somebody, what happens then? They execute, they believe they can make shots, and it carries over to other aspects of the game, even when they have to execute in the half court.
Bullock at a shot block. 3.9 to go.
They have 4 seconds on the shot clock with only 3.9 seconds remaining in the game. I think you can turn off the shot clock.
Yeah. White has the shot blocked, heaved the other way, and the first half ends Friars on top 37-30. Time to send it to the studio. John Brickley, Tom Crean, and Dalen Cup.
All right, Boog, thanks so much as we welcome you into the Land Rover halftime report. A busy night of college basketball. Let's start with a good one. Number 15, Xavier, taking on Wisconsin. This one turning into a back-and-forth battle. How about Wisconsin down 6 here, Coach? Brevin Pretzel coming up for the 3 to get Wisconsin within 3.
Well, and Ethan Happ creates so much offense, not only for himself, but for his teammates. He's just fantastic. And as soon as he smells a double team, he delivers the basketball. Great example right there. Plays with his head up, makes plays the whole way across.
So Ford ties it up at 3, but here comes Trayvon Blewett for Xavier. Key down the stretch, DC.
Yeah, when that last 3 went in, I was wondering if they were going to be able to bounce back. The Musketeers. Blewett silences the crowd there, but he wasn't done. This was almost a turnover and a dunk for Happ going one way. They get the ball, kick it out.
Oh.
Dagger.
Exactly. How do you leave the Klay Thompson of college basketball open?
Well, Xavier's got the 10-point lead on their way, potentially getting a big, true road win in Madison. Tom Crean, Dalen Cuff, John Brickley with you. Land Rover halftime report. Busy night of action for Feast Week around ESPN. Let's start in the SEC. North Florida taking on the 8th-ranked Gators. There are so many weapons on this Florida team, including Igor Kulichev with that big three-pointer.
Grad transfer from Rice. Last year, Mike White brought in Kenyon Berry from Charleston. This year, it's Kulichev. They got scores like Keith White, Keith Stone. They have a lot of pieces in here in this team. Kayvon Allen, Chris Chiozo, one of the best guards in the country in terms of energy and defense. Florida team is loaded.
How about Florida putting up 108 points in their victory? Meanwhile, Miami ranked 11th in the country, taking on Florida A&M. And Miami, coach, has got so many different weapons. 5 players averaging double figures this year.
Well, and they did it without the great freshman Lonnie Walker, who didn't play in the second half because he had a bit of an ankle injury. But when you have Bruce Brown and Jaquan Newton in your backcourt and young guys like Chris Likes coming off the bench to go with their forwards, they have pieces at every spot, and they can go too deep.
Miami with that victory now 3-0 on the year. Notre Dame hosting Chicago State. When you talk about the Irish, you talk about potentially the player of the year nationally in Bonzie Colson.
There he was, laying it in there. Long, great wingspan, over 7 feet. Matt Farrell making this 3 in the corner. One of the best point guards, one of the best inside-outside duos in this country. Mike Bray pulling the strings. This team can be a Final Four team as well.
There it is, Dalen.
How about Matt Farrell? And he got teed up. You're kidding me? We never see him do that.
Well, the highlight of the night for the Irish, they also improved to 3-0. Clemson taking on Ohio in the Charleston Classic, and Clemson's had a year previously where they had so many close games with Marquise Reed for the 3, and the next possession, Reed once again for the Tigers.
Well, they played really comfortable inside of the pressure of the game, and Ohio made the run with Gavin Block, but they never wavered, and they got a really good game out of Dante Grantham, which is something that there was inconsistencies in his game last year, but not tonight.
Clemson holding off, winning at 81-76. Auburn a victory as well. They will play tomorrow against Temple, 11 a.m. Eastern, here on ESPN2 after their victory in the Charleston Classic over Indiana State. How about Cincinnati? The team, the Bearcats, on a roll to begin. Their offense taking it to a whole different level. We're back in just a moment.
This halftime report is presented by Land Rover, above and beyond.
The Season of Adventure sales event is happening now. Land Rover, above and beyond.
It takes Arby's hours to smoke their new smokehouse chicken. Who else puts this much work into their chicken? Mama chickens, maybe. Arby's, we have the meat.
Heineken has been family-owned since 1873. They know about tradition. My favorite tradition? You shouldn't have. Exchanging gifts. I actually bought these myself. There's more behind the star.
I found the perfect gift for you, but it wouldn't ship in time, so I just texted you a photo of it.
Don't shop like everybody else. Shop eBay for just the right gift delivered in 3 days or less. eBay.
13-hour smoked brisket from a fast food place doesn't make sense. But this is Arby's. We don't make sense. We make sandwiches. Arby's, we have the meat.
With Fios On Demand, you can rent or buy over 155,000 titles. And when you buy them, they're yours to keep. So you can start a movie at home and continue watching it here. Then watch it again over here. Even watch it out here. Watch it virtually anywhere, with anyone. Fios has select new release movies available to buy before DVD or other streaming services, like Wonder Woman. So check Fios first by pressing the On Demand button on your Fios remote. You've got Fios. Now get the most out of the
Planet Fitness is coming soon. To celebrate, you can join our judgment-free zone for just $1 down and then $10 a month. But hurry, because this offer won't last. Just $1 down and then $10 a month. Join today at our pre-sale location or at planetfitness.com. The world judges. We don't. Planet Fitness. Be free.
Planet Fitness North Attleboro opens this November. Join for just $1. Free grand.
Welcome back to the Land Rover Halftime Report.
Let's get a check-in on the American Conference. 12th-ranked Cincinnati taking on Coppin State. Early in the first half, Gary Clark looks like he's going to be one of those big playmakers down the stretch for the Bearcats.
Got
a guard him there. Go ahead.
Well, he can do so many things. I mean, he is a two-way player of the best quality in that league and really one of the better ones in the country. He can pass, he can make shots, he can defend. And when they're making threes like this, they are really, really hard to deal with.
97 points for Cincinnati. They win at 3-0. Xavier able to go into Madison, beat Wisconsin 80-70. Trayvon Blewett with 25 points, 9 rebounds. Coach, you've been in that environment before. How big of a win is this?
That's like winning double. It really is. When you win inside of the Kohl Center, I mean, that is a huge thing. And they made shots late. They played well the entire game, and they were able to put it away, and they did a really good job on Happ at the end.
Happ with 21 points, 8 assists in the loss for the Badgers. SEC action, Illinois State taking on South Carolina. Final Four team a year ago, but DC, Illinois State gave the Gamecocks a lot to handle tonight.
Yeah, remember they can handle them. They were banking in threes, but at the end of the day, Frank Martin's team make a shot here to cut the lead, but they did not bring it defensively, and Illinois State really jumped on them and were allowed to play the way they wanted to play and control this game. And, of course, South Carolina, they have to make shots. They did not do that. That's been an Achilles heel for years, 29% from the field.
Illinois State with the 4-point victory. How about Boise State matching up with UTEP? Under 20 seconds go in this one. Chandler Hutchinson, look out below.
Well, he saved his best for last, and it was not probably the best game of his life, but it is obviously a great win this early in the season when you make plays like that. UTEP did a really good job of trying to take him away, but they didn't have enough to do it late.
We talk about teams off to some good starts. Boise State now 3-0. Frazier, a double-double in the losing cause for UTEP. Iowa State also picking up their first victory of the season. They beat Appalachian State by 6. We're back with more. Land Rover Halftime Report.
The Season of Adventure sales event is happening now. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Jen.
Mark. Hi. Jake, this is Mark. We used to date.
Hey, Chief.
So easy to dip, so hard to put down. Rolled chicken tacos are back. Tasty shredded chicken rolled up with your choice of dips. Only at Taco Bell.
I am so busy. So Chase Sapphire Reserve card members are helping plan my next vacation. Japan. How's dinner?
This is delicious.
Sorry.
3 times points on travel and restaurants. Sapphire Reserve from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Our founder, Eddie Bauer, was an outdoor guide. He dedicated his life to making gear that got people outside. Almost 100 years later, we're still sharing what Eddie taught us by working side by side with guides to build technical gear designed to fit today's adventures. Because just like Eddie, we believe that life is better out here, where it's wild, beautiful, and meant to be shared. Now go. Live your adventure.
Battles aren't won solely on the field. Battles are won within. Over enemies of fear. Enemies of doubt. In that place where promises are kept. In the heart of every Marine, you'll find a promise. A promise of battles won.
He once saved 2 birds with 1 stone. And he once drove 8 hours in a sidecar just to get to a game. He is Rob Riggle, the most interesting fan of college football.
That me?
Stay thirsty, mis amigos.
The Justice League is coming to Dave & Buster's. Join the league and play the new Injustice arcade game you can only play here. And play 4 of our hottest games free.
I'm mining.
Only at Dave & Buster's. Justice League, November 17th.
You're watching the Land Rover Halftime Report.
Coming up on the midnight edition of Sports Center, Titans and Steelers, how serious are they for the Super Bowl in terms of contenders? How about the win streak for the Celtics now up to 14? And Giancarlo Stanton, Jose Altuve, the NL AL MVP. What the wait for MVP does feel like. Let's take a look at who went above and beyond, brought to you by Land Rover. Javon Best for St. Louis, scoring 22 and 10. Career highs in the Pelicans' upset win over Virginia Tech.
Big performance by Best, with the bright lights are brightest in Madison Square Garden. Career highs, as you mentioned, the transfer from Michigan State, and we tap your hat to him and Travis Ford's whole crew. A lot of young guys, transfers. He's molded this group. They get a big win over Vatech.
All right, enjoy the second half. Providence and Washington, as this has been the Land Rover Halftime Report.
This Halftime Report is presented by Land Rover, above and beyond.
Oh please, oh me, oh my. We've been moving for some time. All right. Flexing, try to exercise. But it's life I cannot change. Hit the hills, deep off in the pain. Dipping nails, sweet like candy cane. Drop the top.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
It takes Arby's hours to smoke their new smokehouse chicken. Who else puts this much work into their chicken? Mama chickens, maybe. Arby's, we have the meat.
Walking like a man, heading like a hammer. She's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, tasted like a raindrop. She's got the look. Heavenly bound, cause heaven's got a number when she's spinning me around. Kissing is a color, her loving is a wild dog. She's got the look. 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 And I go la la.
The all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
13-hour smoked brisket from a fast food place doesn't make sense. But this is Arby's. We don't make sense. We make sandwiches. Arby's.
Tasker Buick GMC wants to give you more. More selection, more savings, more for your trade, and more satisfaction. We also want to give you less. Less headaches, less wasted time, and less aggravation. We've been in business for 75 years and 4 generations because we understand how to save you money and make you happy. Visit Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket or TaskerBuickGMC.com. You will be...
Hydro moisture or microhydration? Oh, hey, for my hair, should I go pomade or gel?
The blue one.
Oh, is this good for razor burn?
Those guys don't know what you need. I do, and I'll bring it right to your house.
Is that my wife?
Hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
Get a DSC starter set for just $5. Join.
Welcome back to the 2K Sports Classic as part of Feast Week presented by Lowe's. Back here in New York City. Oh, the pie. Are you hungry?
I am starving.
Late night pizza, ahoy. Providence at the break, leading Washington 37-30. Back here, Madison Square Garden, John Ciambi and Sean Farnham. And really, it doesn't take, no disrespect intended, a super analyst to break down turnovers. Turnovers played a pretty crucial role in the first half.
You think?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's good. That's good. I'm going to try to break it down for you. 15 turnovers is too many in the first half. And, you know, you talk about, okay, you got to go against the zone, the 2-3 zone. Well, you don't have to go against the zone, partner, when you get turnovers and you run out in transition. 19 points coming off of those 15 turnovers. A lot of them look like these, where they're able to run in the open floor and they're not going against the 2-3 zone all packed together, all tight. For Coach Hopkins. Now, his team is only 7 points down. If they want to start valuing the basketball, they had some success offensively. They just need to slow down the mental game. They need to slow down themselves on the offensive end of the floor.
Rodney Bullock to inbound, leads all scorers with 12 points. Diallo from the elbow knocks it down.
And a great pass though by Jackson. Pressure coming to him, trapped it down low. Right to the out elbow area in the zone with the guards extended up a little bit higher. That's going to be the spot that's going to be open.
Possession a little stagnant right now. It's crisp. Oh, there's the tip as Timmons is able to put that one in. And for Timmons, his first 2 of the night.
They're trying to gain confidence with Timmons. In fact, last night at practice, Coach Hopkins asked him, said, whose paint is this? And he said, mine. He said, you got to say it louder. You got to own this part of the floor.
Isaiah Jackson knocks down that jumper. And Providence back out front by 9. Yeah, Sam Timmons, their sophomore big man. He has the ball now from New Zealand. First ever player for Washington from New Zealand. Feed inside. Good hands, knocked away. Up ahead, Jackson. And then Noah Dickerson takes it back.
Well, that was a gift by Jackson. They secure the turnover. There's no need to you don't have to score in transition in that. If you don't have it, you just jump stop, come solid with the ball, find your point guard and set up your offense.
Thibault flips it in. Dickerson, good position. And 1. Noah Dickerson.
The pin and seal. Again, we mentioned it in the first half for Dickerson. He does such a great job creating an angle to score, and his hands are outstanding. Watch this. Pin, seal high, brings it in with 1, gathers with 2, and then the soft touch and the roll.
You know, you look at numbers on guys, and then to get them to see him play live, you want to try to understand what matches up. You watch him play, I get it.
Yep.
Like you understand where the numbers come from and what his skill set is for sure.
And the funny thing is, so does everybody that's wearing a Friars uniform, and they still can't stop it.
Cartwright can't hit, out of bounds. Washington basketball. So a chance for the Huskies to cut into a 7-point deficit.
And Dickerson was limited to 12 minutes in the first half. Remember, he was trying to talk his way out of going to the bench when he picked up his 2nd personal foul, but they took him out of the game. Now you've got to re-engage him. He just got a good high-low. I'd go right back to him. The offense has been stuck on this side of the floor so far.
Noel, pull-up jumper. Got it. Jalen Noel, the freshman from Seattle. He's got 7. It's a 5-point game. Good hands by the Huskies, force the turnover. Malik White is going to check into the game for the Friars. They cool a little frustrated early with their offense. Chris buries a three. And just like that, the Huskies within 2. 7-0 run. Young inside, hangs and hits.
Good answer. That was a good answer by Providence to get the balls down low. Previous possession, Cartwright took the 3 up over the top.
Timmons. The follow and the flush for the big guy from New Zealand. So Big Sam getting involved in the action. 43-41 winner will take on St. Louis tomorrow night in the championship game. And a travel inside.
In the first 4 minutes of the first half, Washington had 6 turnovers. They come out in the first 4 with only 1. That's why the game's tighter. Their offense back on track.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's. Hurry in today for huge savings on all things winter.
It's all pop culture trivia, but it gets pretty intense.
The new guy. Wow.
He looks exactly like me. No. Separated at birth much? We should switch name tags and no one would know who is who.
Jamie, you seriously think you look like him?
I'm pretty good with comparisons. Like how Progressive helps people save money by comparing rates, even if they're not the lowest. Whoa! Wow. I mean, the outfit helps, but pretty great. Look at us.
The original Sonic cheeseburger and onion rings for $2.99. The last time we ate this good for $2.99, we were in college.
No, I was in college. You were in denial.
Oh, good school.
Now you can pair a cheeseburger or footlong coney with onion rings for $2.99. This is how you Sonic.
Work keeps me busy. So I've asked Chase Sapphire Reserve card members to find my next vacation. Ro, show me something.
I'm having breakfast at the Pantheon.
What an amazing view of your finger.
Look at this view. Isn't that incredible?
Your finger.
And check this one out. Oh, it's so amazing.
Move your finger.
3 times points on travel and restaurants on every continent. Sapphire Reserve from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Progress is an unstoppable force. The Season of Audi sales event is here. Audi will cover your first month's lease payment on select models during the Season of Audi sales event.
The original Sonic cheeseburger and onion rings for $2.99. The last time we ate this good for $2.99, we were in college.
No, I was in college. You were in denial.
Oh, good school.
Now you can pair a cheeseburger or footlong coney with onion rings for $2.99. This is how you Sonic.
You look at the execution here in the second half so far. Washington 5 of 7 shooting from the field. Their 2 misses were putbacks by Timmons. And a great job by him, a little swing move over the top and able to finish. And the Huskies have taken a 7-point deficit and whittled it down to 2 in the first 4 minutes.
Done a better job shooting from the floor and taking care of the basketball. David Crisp overall in this game with 3 3-pointers. He's got 9. So a 2-point game. Fiveled to Noel as it's stripped away. Out of bounds. Stays with Washington. The freshman to inbound. Providence starting the year 1-1. Washington 2-0 in the early season. Dickerson gets fouled.
How good is he at drawing fouls? And he just does an excellent job creating the opportunity for contact to come and earn the trip to the free throw line. He applies pressure to you. There's a lot of banging going on down there, and a point of emphasis this year for officials. They want clean play in the post.
Dickerson has played here at Madison Square Garden before. He's from Georgia, went to Montverde Academy and played with Ben Simmons. And they won the national title.
The Dick's National Championship, every year you see it on ESPNU right around the time of the Final Four. The best prep schools in the country all come together and battle for a championship.
Thibault with the takeaway, and now Crisp up ahead. Huskies with a chance to take the lead. Dickerson lost the handle. It kicks to Timmons. And the big guy will go to the line. That foul will be on Nate Watson, his third.
What you've seen is some resiliency, some better toughness overall from Washington.
And Timmons missing that time. All tied up. Good look inside. Timmons the block. He blocked Watson. Thibault can't hit. Bullock the board. And they get Matisse Thibault for the foul on Cartwright.
How about the action underneath? Timmons in the second half is a completely different player. His energy level, his activity, and his toughness.
Bullock from way downtown. Got it! NBA range.
15 now for Bullock.
Good hands there by Cartwright, knocking it out of bounds. Jalen Lindsey will check in. And Alpha Diallo will come out of the game. Tight one here at MSG. Winner will take on St. Louis tomorrow night. Chris way downtown. Bullock pulls down the board. White buries a three. Back-to-back deep threes for the Friars. And all of a sudden it's a 6-point Providence lead.
Well, and for the last 4 possessions, number 15 in White hasn't touched the ball in an operational area. Got to find Dickerson underneath.
Noel hangs a little too strong. Rebound by Timmons. And he'll go to the line. Big Sam has been great here in the second half.
Dribble before the kick out for White. Close out a step slow. And back-to-back threes took what was a tie game to a 6-point deficit real quick.
That'll go for Timmons. Watson's got to sit as he's collected 4 fouls now. And Khalif Young will check in. 49-44, Providence leads. John Sciambi, Sean Farnham from Madison Square Garden. Cartwright running the offense. White going to work, feeds inside, and off the glass and good for Khalif Young.
Really good, strong possession that time for Providence.
Dickerson gets it to go. That's a 2.
I think if you go 4 or 5 possessions without Dickerson touching the ball, that's probably 2 or 3 possessions too many. You got to at least give him an opportunity. He's a willing passer. He'll pass the ball out if he doesn't have the angle.
Kick out. Huskies take it away. Noel on the move. Kicks off to Thibault, and they get the foul on the Friars.
Let's see who they got. They got Cartwright on it. And the official was pointing down the line. Cartwright was outside of the arc. And the other aspect of it was he was passing the ball. So they're trying to award 2 free throws. So that would be the first thing that's incorrect. The second thing that would be incorrect was Cartwright's feet were outside of the line, and the official pointed down to inside the halo for the reason for why the call went against him.
Yep. And now they're going to correct at least part of it.
Well, you can't go back and remove the foul.
Right. There will not be a shooting foul. Drew Edwards will check it. And Cartwright will sit. Timmons looking for some help. Finds Noah. Pull up foul line jumper. Loose ball is tracked down by the Friars. White up ahead, finds Young. Edwards wanders in, lays it up and in.
What a smart move by Edwards to gather himself and attack the interior. A little shot fake, step underneath, and finish with an N1 opportunity. Shield and protect the ball, elevate the defense, and then step underneath.
Foul on Timmons, and that'll be his 3rd.
Really impressed with the composure and the body control that Edwards just demonstrated. To jump stop in the paint. If you're at home and you're a kid and you're playing high school basketball for, say, Harvard Westlake in Southern California, jump stop and make a play. You don't always have to jump and shoot the floater off of one leg.
Risk hesitation, kick out, Green. And Young rips away a rebound. Edwards, shot clock under 10. Lindsay, blocked by Timmons, saves it. Nope. It'll be Providence basketball. Big block. Sam Timmons been playing great here in the second half, but his Huskies trailing by 7.
My name is Scott Jordan. My problem? I had tons of stuff to carry, but no easy way to do it. So I started Scotty Vest. At Scotty Vest, we make great-looking clothing with tons of hidden pockets and unique features. Now, you can carry all your stuff hands-free while looking great. Never worry about misplacing anything ever again. The uses are endless. Scotty Vest will change your life. Try it out. Visit ScottyVest.com right now and browse dozens of styles for both men and women.
The Justice League is coming to Dave & Buster's. Join the league and play the new Injustice arcade game you can only play here. And play 4 of our hottest games free.
Aligning.
Only at Dave & Buster's. Justice League, November 17th.
Monica, it is absolute
chaos out here. Gale force winds, accumulations up to 8 inches. Don't know if you can even hear me.
What's he doing?
Can we get a shot of this cold front right here? Winter has arrived. Woo!
Progress is an unstoppable force. Brace yourself for the Season of Audi sales event. Audi will cover your first month's lease payment on select models during the Season of Audi sales event.
Work keeps me busy. So I've asked Chase Sapphire Reserve card members to find my next vacation. Rome, show me something.
I'm having breakfast at the Pantheon.
What amazing view of your finger.
Look at this view. Isn't that incredible?
Your finger.
And check this one out. Oh, it's so amazing.
Move your finger.
3 times points on travel and restaurants on every continent. Sapphire Reserve from Chase. Make more of what's yours.
If you've got $5, you could make a random meal playing Dollar Menu Bingo.
Anybody have fish sandwich?
Or you can get a real meal with a charbroiled double cheeseburger, spicy chicken sandwich, fries, drink, and a cookie. The $5 All-Star Meals, only at Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Hey, Saturday night, 8 Eastern, ABC. Number 11, USC taking on UCLA. The victory bell on the line. And that is at 8 Eastern. UCLA, USC coming up on Saturday night.
Rosen versus Darnold, 2 of the best quarterbacks in all of college football.
See, you're going to be root?
My alma mater, I might be pulling a little bit for the Bruins, just maybe. By the way, shot clock was reset to 30. They determined that there was control by Timmons after the block prior to his foot coming down out of bounds.
Providence ball up 7. Feed inside.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Young did not like that call at all. I mean, his jaw dropped. His eyes almost popped out of his head. He could not believe it. He was pinning and sealing. He thought it was clean.
How about the Huskies? Turned it over 15 times in the first half. They've only turned it over once. Crisp can't hit. Lindsey skies for the board.
Sometimes it comes down to shot selection, though, for Crisp. And that was an ill-advised shot. One pass in the offense. You can get that anytime on a contested 3. Turn it down, get the ball inside. Remember when you made your push and you tied the game, you were scoring in the rim. Dickerson was getting the ball.
White can't hit. Loose ball. Scramble and a fight for it. And they're going to go possession arrow. And it belongs to Washington. Michael Carter, the 3rd into the game. Or beg your pardon, Mass Carter. Good look inside. Dickerson had it blocked, regathers. Had it blocked again.
He was fouled, though, and will go to the free throw line for 2.
As they get the foul on Lindsey.
But a better job that time by Chris to find Dickerson. Drive, drop it off, feed the big fella. Get him engaged, because when he's engaged at the offensive end, and so often this is the case, you engage your big man at the offensive end, that energy level that they get from that, unfortunately, it spills over to the defensive end of the floor. So if you ignore them, then they kind of get a little lethargic at the defensive end of the floor for not touching the ball. You feed them, they get more engaged. Defensively, you get better production.
It's the way I work. Feed man, you're a lot better.
Hold on, let me get you something.
54-49, closing in on the 10-minute mark. Tyron Cartwright on the bench at the moment for Providence. Edwards short, but he's fouled. Drew Edwards will go to the line. Edwards, a sophomore from Maryland. And Had some knee issues last year that slowed him down. Providence last year getting to the NCAA tournament for the 4th straight season, won 20 games. 95% of their offense is back as Cartwright watches. Ed Cooley likes his team. They're talented.
And with great reason. And you look at the Big East too this year. And Villanova, obviously one of the premier programs in the country right now. Jay Wright, year in and year out, the consistency. Chris Mack at Xavier, Seton Hall ranked inside the top 25. And for Villanova, they've got a freshman by the name of Amari Spellman, who posted a double-double in his first collegiate game and has played so well. And Seth Gradenberg spent some time with him just the other day and said he's the real deal at practice.
Providence the lead, back down to 4. Diallo kick inside, good ball movement, and one. Khalif Young will put that home. That was excellent work at the offensive end, and it started with Diallo, and they moved the ball so nicely.
Good dump down, and then the strong finish up over the top. There's a lot to went into that play, though, prior to the finish.
Offensive rebound, and Providence will set it back up. Diallo from the elbow.
And that's the byproduct of the basket before. The basket before, they stepped up to the ball as it came to the elbow. That's what created the seam to dump it down and finish for Young. That time, the defensive line, the back line held true. They stayed back, and the easy finish for Diallo.
Dickerson and one. Noah Dickerson, the junior from Atlanta. He has a lot to handle down low.
Yeah, isolate him on the side. Look, there is nobody around him. You are on an island if you're defensively guarding Noah Dickerson on that set. And when you're on an island, you should be afraid because he's going to make you pay.
Diallo pulls down the rebound. 6-point advantage for Providence. And again, they find the seam. Kick to the corner and the triple from Drew Edwards. Friars in the second half just carving up the Washington defense. 11 out of 15 from the floor in the second half for Providence. Good steal as Lindsay comes away with it. And Malik White taking it into the front court. Diallo feeds inside and finds his buddy Khalif Young. Washington calls timeout. The Friars on quite a roll, a 9-2 run, and the lead has ballooned to 11.
Oh please, oh me, oh my. We've been moving for some time. All right. Flexing, try to exercise. But it's life I cannot change. Hit it is, deep off in the main. Dipping nails, sweet like candy cane. Drop the top.
Rated everyone 10 and up.
This is the inaugural PK80, an exciting new tournament featuring 16 top-tier teams.
We'll have all kinds of stars
to celebrate a legend.
The most important man in the history of all sports. Spectacular swag.
The PK80, presented by State Farm, tips Thursday, November.
As a thank you for rating us #1 in customer satisfaction in the latest J.D. Power survey, we're bringing back the free on-demand marathon.
Binge watch thousands of TV shows and hundreds of blockbuster movies. Go to the free Marathon folder and select a title. Or tune in on the go with the Fios mobile app. Watch what you want, when you want. Even the best premium channels. During the free on-demand marathon, November 10th through the 20th. And thank you again for...
Hear that? That's someone saving really f***ing big on their new vehicle. Get Station Chrysler Jeep of Mansfield. Like a new Jeep Cherokee. Lease it for $206 a month during the Black Friday sales event. Or lease a new Jeep Grand Cherokee for $256 a month. So the next time you hear this, it means saving a whole f***ing lot of these. Visit us next to the Mansfield train station.
NBA doubleheader tomorrow night. First, it's the Thunder and the Spurs at 8 Eastern, and then at 10:30 Eastern, the Pelicans and the Nuggets. And it all gets going at 7 Eastern. NBA Countdown charged by Mount Dew.
Combination of Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins. They can score. Providence, they can really score too, in particular in the second half. And we're going to show you here in just a matter of minutes just how perfect they have executed against this zone of Washington, in particular the last 4 possessions.
Yeah, it's like tic-tac-toe, the way they move the ball.
I was never good at tic-tac-toe.
It's a complicated game. Good hands there by Edwards.
I'm going to try to figure out how to play tic-tac-toe, but I know what good offense is when I see it. And I've seen a lot of it here in the second half.
Continental tires are built for the road that connects you to all of life's journeys. And for nearly 150 years, we've been developing tires to fit your needs. Each Continental tire is designed to give you precise handling and traction in all seasons, and a quiet, comfortable ride wherever the road takes you. You're at your best when you're doing what you really love. We're at ours when we're helping you get there. Continental Tire, for what you do.
It takes Arby's hours to smoke their new smokehouse chicken. Who else puts this much work into their chicken? Mama chickens, maybe. Arby's, we have the meat.
Hi.
Well, honey, I said sweet potatoes.
Yes, you did. I forgot the shrimp. Shrimp? An apple pie.
Dad likes pecan.
Oh, well, in that case, I can.
Love to drive? Visit your Infiniti retailer for leases starting at $289 a month during the Start Your Own Legacy winter sales event. Infiniti, empower the drive.
13-hour smoked brisket from a fast food place doesn't make sense. But this is Arby's. We don't make sense. We make sandwiches. Arby's, we have the meat.
All right, let's go inside the play driven by Continental Tire. If you're a coach and your name's Dave Rabibo on the West Coast, he's one of my friends, Boog. Get a zone offense like this one. Providence has been slicing them up the entire second half. This is a clinic of how to get the ball in the middle of the 2-3 zone and kick it and find open shots. Then you can also attack it during the baseline. When you attack baseline, it forces that back line to shift as they step, dump it off in a small window, and find your big and able to finish.
They've been brilliant. I mean, just brilliant with it.
Well, think about this. How unselfish, how productive can you be as a team? 73% shooting here in the second half. On the game, let this sink in. 21 of their 23 made field goals are via the assist.
Bible. And they go with the travel. Matisse Thybulle turned it over a number of times in this game.
I mean, I've been blown away with the patience and poise and precision attack of Providence against the zone.
Diallo inside, Lindsay, shot contested, and then they get the foul, and they got that one on Malik White. #1 spot here. Sean, it's been interesting, this great stretch, this run without Kyron Cartwright on the court for the Friars. So,
and that speaks to what Ed Cooley told us is the deepest team he's ever coached. He really feels like there's multiple players that can fulfill roles and be productive. The challenge when you have a team that's as deep as this is trying to figure out, okay, how do I manage minutes? How do I give guys and put them in the right opportunity where they can be successful?
Yep.
And there's going to come a time during the course of the year where there's going to be some guys that can really play, and their minutes are going to get cut back dramatically on one night, and the next night it might be 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I wonder if when they're really rolling, if they're still going to be playing 10.
If they all come in and share the basketball as well as they have tonight, the answer to that question will be yes. I mean, just another smart play by Edwards. Little shot fake, elevated crisp as he leaves his feet and comes into you. Pick up the foul.
Edwards with 8 points, all in the second half. Done really nice work.
When you look at Ed Cooley on the sideline, you see him right there. He's brought in another top-flight recruiting class. David Duke, the number 54 recruit in the country according to ESPN's Top 100. A.J. Reeves, number 53 recruit in the country according to ESPN.com. Paul Biancardi.
And again, great ball movement. Diallo's done a really nice job. He's been a big part as a facilitator in slicing up this zone. And Noel able to answer with a big three.
Noel's a scorer that can get going quickly. Still plenty of time in this game if you're Washington. You got to start taking pride at this end of the floor. You've got to start getting stops and stringing a couple together.
Diallo inside. And an offensive foul to go the other way.
And Diallo immediately pointing inside. The feet were outside.
Yeah, they were.
He looked like he was going down for the block call and then reversed it into the charge. But a big moment right there. We'll see if Washington can capitalize on this and tighten it up.
I don't know if he got there, but he definitely was outside the circle. The half circle. And Dickerson drawing the foul. They get that on Khalif Young. He's got 4. And remember, Nate Watson, one of their other bigs, has 4.
That up and under move, Dickerson has gone to at least 3 times in this game, and every single time he's either scored or drawn the foul.
And that time right into your living room. 18 points, 5 rebounds, coming off that 28-point, 22-rebound effort against Eastern Washington. Six to go, 8-point game. Mike Hopkins, his team off to the 2-0 start. Coming here to Madison Square Garden. Ed Cooley made no bones about it. He said, we're playing in this tournament to simulate the Big East tournament.
They stay at the same hotel they stay at when they come for the Big East tournament.
Great look, Cartwright, out of bounds. It'll stay with Providence.
And I love coaches that find a way to get inside the building that they're playing in when they get to the conference tournament.
Yeah, like a practice run.
The other aspect that is very similar to obviously a tournament setting, a postseason champ week kind of setting, is that you're going to play in back-to-back days as well.
Possession arrow, and it goes back to Providence. And a turnover. Dickerson kicks opposite. Green gets into the paint. Out of bounds, it stays with Washington. 5:25 to go. Friars lead this one by 8. Boog Shambi, Sean Farnham from the world's most famous arena.
That kickball will reset the shot clock again to 20 seconds, a new rule. And again, because it was not in that diagonal line from the elbow to the baseline, Washington's going to take the ball on the sideline.
Crisp gets inside, and they get the block. So that's on Diallo, and he's got 4.
And that's a good call. It's over the line. And I believe the technical was just assessed. Well, they just changed the foul.
They called it offensive. Wow. So they got the foul.
You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. And Diallo was on the line.
Look, if his heel is up, it's over the line.
Yeah.
So you can say, well, the heel was up, his toes were on the bait.
Robin, it's a little sloppy last couple of times. Look at Noel exploding to the basket. Jalen Noel.
He's got such a bright future. He's got a knack for scoring the ball.
Bullock up and under. That wouldn't go, out of bounds. Huskies basketball. 6-point game.
Talk about Noel and Mike Hopkins, who's coached a lot of really talented players as an assistant at Syracuse. Says he has a knack for scoring the ball similar to Carmelo Anthony. That's a pretty good knack to have.
Noel. And a rebound by Diallo. Edwards has been really crucial for the Friars in the second half. Diallo pulls up. No basket. They get the travel. Friars with 10 turnovers in the second half. Closing it on 4 to go. And a 6-point game. Kick out, Green, in and out. And a big rebound there by Edwards. Dominic Green had a really good look at it.
I would have preferred Noah Dickerson to go up with that shot. The higher percentage shot was Noah Dickerson going right up.
Cartwright from way downtown, off the glass, wouldn't go. And a fight for the loose ball, foul on Washington. Timeout on the court, 6-point game, Friars with the lead.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by NBA 2K18. In stores now, rated everyone 10 and up. And Progressive Insurance, your first round pick for car insurance.
I saw the change in Rich when we moved into the new house, but having his parents over was enlightening.
You don't like my lasagna?
No, it's good.
Here, blow. Blow on it.
You see it, right?
Is there a draft in here? telling you, it's so easy to get home insurance on Progressive.com.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto.
Progress is an unstoppable force. The Season of Audi sales event is here. Audi will cover your first month's lease payment on select models during the Season of Audi sales event.
Jen.
Mark. Hi. Jake, this is Mark. We used to date.
Hey, Chief.
So easy to dip, so hard to put down. Rolled chicken tacos are back. Tasty shredded chicken rolled up with your choice of dips. Only at Taco Bell.
Heineken has been family-owned since 1873. They know about tradition. My favorite tradition? You shouldn't have. Exchanging gifts. I actually bought these myself. There's more behind the star.
Thunder, Spurs at 8. Pelicans, Nuggets at 10:30. Tomorrow on ESPN.
Back inside Madison Square Garden. Friars with the lead. Providence on top here as they lead it by 6. John Chambi and Sean Farnham. 2K Sports Classic semifinal number 2. St. Louis able to get past Virginia Tech in our first semifinal, and St. Louis, Travis Ford's team with a good win, and they await the winner of this one, and they'll play tomorrow night in a championship game.
Free throws down the stretch. Both teams have done a good job getting to the line. Neither team has really excelled at the free throw line.
As you were saying, Crisp launches short, loose ball, out of bounds. Washington basketball.
I know part of that is Crisp's game. He's going to take some shots, but there's been 2 or 3 possessions in the second half where you've looked at it and been like, you could get a better one than that, and that was one of those possessions. Don't be afraid to turn one down.
Feed inside, Dickerson, left hand wouldn't go. Offensive rebound, put back wouldn't go. And now Crisp dribbles it out, poise, and hits. Oh my goodness.
By the way, that's also one of those shots that as a coach you go, no, 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 no. Yes!
Great job.
Wonderful.
And it's down to 3 with under 3 to go. Huskies on an 11-3 run. And Watson inside gets fouled. And that's on Dickerson, and that's crucial because that is number 5.
Good battle underneath on that last possession. Dickerson unable to finish a shot fake. Dribble right out, step, and shoot. And the bigger aspect of all of that, though, is the fact that Noah Dickerson is done for the game.
Can I throw something out there? I know this is not a big deal, but I don't understand why when somebody fouls out, it effectively becomes a free timeout. Like,
it shouldn't.
Somebody fouls out, let's go, let's play.
It shouldn't. It's one of those things that they've talked about with the officials. You've got about 20 seconds to get that next player in the game, and a couple times tonight, it's been a minute and a half as the coaches get out there. Anytime a coach grabs their clipboard to start drawing, they're not worrying about who they're subbing in. Right. So just as an official, you go, no, you're coming on the floor now, let's go. And it disrupts the flow of the game, and something that all officials need to be staying on top of and trying to improve. Pace of play.
3-point game. Watson misses the first, gets the second. And the lead back to 4.
With Dickerson out, I look for number 5. Noel to get involved in this game. He becomes your primary scoring target.
Crisp off balance, wild shot. Thibault rattles it home, huge, and it's a 1-point game. Matisse Thibault. How about that possession? Crazy. Well, the Friars have run good offense almost the entire second half. Watson inside, puts it up, puts it in. Crisp. Timmons swooping in. And then Watson absorbs a foul. And they got that on Dominic Green.
Well, one offensive end, it's kind of just been out of sorts, but Thibault able to corral the ball as it bounced out to him and knock down the three-point shot. But the answer from Providence, get the ball down low. The strength, the size of Watson able to turn over Timmons, who's not a shot blocker, and able to finish.
Nate Watson, who's dropped 25 pounds, got himself into good shape. Free throw in and out. Closing it on 90 seconds, 3-point game. Noel with Diallo on him. Off balance.
Too many off-balance shots by Washington.
Cartwright. Lindsay had his shot contested. Green lost the ball. Providence basketball.
Play quick. You cannot hurry. You cannot be rushed. And Washington has been a little rushed on the last couple of possessions.
Well, fans fresh off their thrashing of Notre Dame, undefeated at #3 Miami. They're at home. The Hurricanes will take on Virginia at noon. That's Saturday on ABC. I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I was scolded by LaFonso Ellis for emphasizing the thrashing of Notre Dame.
Fonz, by the way, is one of the greatest human beings I've ever met.
Ever.
Okay. But how would he describe it? What adjective would he use to describe what we saw last Saturday? Beat down?
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. 1:14 to go in this one. Providence up by 3 with the basketball. They've got contributions from all over. Bullock's got 15. Young with a dozen. Edwards with 11. All of Edwards' points in the second half, and Diallo's got 11. Providence with 3 different guys with 5 or more assists as well. And I think that tells a big story as far as how they've shared the basketball. Cartwright to inbound. Gets to Bullock, and now they'll set it up. 15 in the shot clock.
Clock is your friend, but you want to be aggressive here for Providence. You don't want to take a poor shot. It's going to be a quick miss and an easy run out, potentially on a long rebound.
Way downtown, and a shot clock violation, and that was just kind of a lost possession right there. They just passed it around the edges and then settled for that chuck.
I kind of sensed when they got the ball that they weren't being as aggressive as they were earlier in the half. Getting the ball in the middle of the defense, forcing it to collapse and move and shift. They threw that whole entire possession just out the window.
Thibault a 3. Tip and a loose ball. And that foul will be on Washington.
Basketball is a long game. The last 4 shot attempts for Washington, Boog, have all been threes. Yeah, it's a 3-point game, but there's plenty of time. There's multiple possessions. Don't be the hero. Win the game by executing. Win the game by driving. Get to the free throw line. Manufacture points for your team. They don't all have to be 3-point shots.
Young back in. Watson will sit. Cartwright makes it a 5-point game. 40.4 to go in semifinal number 2. The winner will take on St. Louis tomorrow night. Noel, strong drive, hangs, hits!
And that's what I'm talking about right there. Drive, manufacture, you get a 3-point play now. If you get to the free throw line and you're able to knock it down. Noel drives. Young picks up his 5th personal foul. He'll be out of the game. And a big bucket by a very talented freshman.
So Young is done. Dickerson is already fouled out for Washington.
Let me tell you a story about Noel. In high school, his jersey was number 12. And as a jersey he always wore until his sophomore year. He was in a game and he got something on his jersey. He had to change and it went to number 5. It happened to be the last game that his father ever saw him play. His father passed away his sophomore year of high school. He has worn number 5 ever since that game.
Bullock rebounds the miss. 3-point game. And now you got to go get him. Cartwright to Bullock. Oh my goodness.
Way too much time run off the clock there.
Foul. Wow. (73-70), 12.5 to go, and Cartwright at the line. Kyron Cartwright, his parents are here from Compton. Kid from out there in the West Coast coming all the way to Providence. And he's got his family here. The 2K Sports Classic.
A highly entertaining game.
Been really good.
I mean, we've had some sloppy turnovers, too many turnovers for both teams. A much better job in the second half by Washington. That's what allowed them to tighten this thing up.
The 2K Classic, benefiting Wounded Warrior Project, is celebrating its 23rd anniversary this season and 20th at Madison Square Garden. 2017 2K Classic marks the 5th year that the Wounded Warrior Project is the beneficiary of the event, with the mission to honor and empower wounded warriors and to encourage warriors as they adjust to their new normal and achieve new triumphs. For more information about Wounded Warrior Project, log on woundedwarriorproject.org. St. Louis a winner over Virginia Tech earlier tonight, and they await the winner of this one. Championship game tomorrow night, 70s.
Great win by St. Louis. And Travis Ford's team, Javon Bess, a transfer from Michigan State with career highs in points and rebounds. They advance over the Hokies, and 12.5 seconds left. Providence going to win this game at the free throw line. And if you're Washington, you got to realize it's a 2-possession game. Get something going to the basket and get it there quick.
Crisp speeding ahead. The give off, Noel. And they're going to get a foul inside. I think that they got Sam Timmons. Indeed, they did.
They got Timmons going for the tip in. Not a bad idea for the dribble handoff 3. Again, I would have preferred 2-possession game. Get something going to the basket first.
You got to score twice.
Yeah, foul, and then try to get this rebound and go to the other end. Instead, now you end up with an empty possession, giving up more free throws. And Rodney Bullock, who played very well tonight, at the free throw line to ice this one away. His numbers tonight is where I expect to see him all season long. 16 and 8. When he plays like this, Providence is going to be a very difficult team to beat.
I thought they showed a lot of composure tonight in the second half. Offensively, just did a nice job. Friars win it 77-70 the final. And now for our player of the game, brought to you by 2K. And Rodney Bullock, 17 points and 9 rebounds. The ninth, the final board of the game.
Really
Providence will take on St. Louis.
22 assists on 25 made field goals. Be unselfish and watch your team win.
Up next, Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN from Cancun, Mexico. For Sean Farnham and our entire outstanding crew here at Madison Square Garden, I'm John Chambi saying so long from New York City.
Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN comes to you this week from Cancun, Mexico, one of the top tourist destinations in the world. Tonight, boxers from around the